What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the chat. I am Kneeckoh with Enter the Chat Gaming, and today we are going to talk about what have a strong feeling will be the indie game of the year, and that is Death's Door over on Xbox and PC. God, do I have a lot to say about this game, okay? I was slightly following this game for a while. I was just kind of like hearing things on different podcasts that I listened to and things of that nature, and then it finally came out and I decided to pick it up, and God, is it so freaking good. So we're going to talk about that today. But if this is your first time here on the channel, make sure you are subbed for more videos from me, Toby, and Rico all the time, and make sure you check out the podcast where we talk games every week. But let's get into Death's Door. So Death's Door is a super interesting indie game. Like it reminds me of so many different things because it takes elements from so many different things. If I were to combine a bunch of stuff into what this game is, it reminds me of like top-down Zelda with Dark Souls elements, or maybe even Hollow Knight a little bit, and it's just super fascinating, and it's a beautiful game. It really is. All the graphics look phenomenal. It's just all around, it is super interesting. So what is the actual plot of the game? You play as a crow, which is essentially the Grim Reaper, and you live in this society where, you know, people aren't dying naturally, so they send the crows to go and reap the souls as people, you know, as their time is up. And you go out in your first mission, your first assignment to go collect a soul. Your soul gets taken. The one that you're going out to obtain gets taken, and then you're like going throughout the game to try and figure out who's taking your soul and what is, you know, the plot that is unfolding before you. And it's super interesting. It starts off very fast paced. You're almost immediately thrown into boss fights, and it is just, it's very interesting. And the more you uncover, the better it gets. It's just super good. Now, the boss fights, like I mentioned, you're very quickly thrown into them, and these are one of the highlights of this game. The boss fights are so interesting. They're not super challenging. Like, this game is challenging, but it's not like beat your head against the computer or your monitor, whatever you're playing on. You're not breaking controllers over the challenge of this game, but it does have that little element of challenge where some bosses might take a couple tries just to figure out, you know, their rotations and things of that nature. But none of it is like, I'm just gonna bash my controller and break it in half because I'm so frustrated, like you would get in something like Dark Souls. When I say it has Dark Souls elements, it's very similar in the fact that when you take out monsters, you're collecting their souls. You can return to the hub world, and then you can spend the souls on different upgrades for your crow, and then you will then go back and all the monsters have respawned because you went back to the hub area. So it's got similar elements, but then it also has the puzzle nature of something like a Zelda game. And when I say it's got the puzzle nature, none of these puzzles are all that difficult. They're all pretty, you know, they're just kind of there to give you something to do aside from just fight monsters, but they're fun. Like it is very fun. It's not very difficult to figure out, and if you're not into puzzle games, this game is still going to appeal to you because you'll be able to handle all of these puzzles. They're not challenging at all. And I like the fact that as you progress, you're going to unlock more power-ups, because at the start of the game you have just your bow and your sword, and your bow gets ammo back by attacking. So the more you melee, the more ammo you'll have for your bow. You can have an up to 4. I think you can increase this by increasing up different stats by trading in your souls. I spent most of mine on the melee damage because I liked using the melee weapons, but it's a nice balance of using your bow and then going up and meleeing to get your bow ammo back, and then, you know, things of that nature. It's just a really fun little balance, and you'll unlock more power-ups along the way. Like you can unlock a, you know, a fireball and things like that to solve more puzzles. And it's fun because the game isn't linear per se. It has different paths that you can take, and as you travel, you're going to notice different things and be like, I definitely think I can come back here later once I acquire some sort of power-up, and I can do something else very cool here. So that's kind of how the puzzle solving works, is like there's definitely going to be some backtracking in order to uncover different elements. And there are different secrets that you can find throughout the game along your journey, and that is really fun as well. When you stumble across a secret and you have that kind of aha moment, like it's super satisfying. Now, the combat itself, like I said, you know, you have your casting weapon, whether it be, you know, fireball, your bow, whatever. You have X amount of ammo, you go up and do the melee, but there are different melee weapon types as well. You'll find different weapons along the way and different trinkets or different power-ups and things of that nature. and it's just super fun to be able to switch between these different things. Like right now I've been going back and forth between the sword and the daggers, and it's just very, very satisfying going back and having all these different things. And then, like I said, with the different power-ups, solving these puzzles that I came across before and I'm revisiting, I'm like, oh, this is how this works now because I have access to this particular thing. Super well done. Now, the big thing with this game is it's not super long. I think I saw on Twitter the average was like 6 hours. But if you're going for a lot of like uncovering stuff, or if you're exploring and do a lot of the side stuff and not just mainlining it, people are saying it's taking closer to 10 to 12 hours to actually complete. And I think that's really solid considering the fact that this is not a Game Pass game. Even though it is an Xbox console exclusive, it's not on Game Pass, which I find very interesting as well. But before I talk about that more, I want to just talk about a couple other elements of the game. It is a very pretty world, but it also is very like melancholy. It's just like a lot of browns and grays and things of that nature. It does have color here and there, but it's not super vibrant, and the music matches that very well. The music is very monotone and kind of just calm and soothing, and I think the music is so freaking good in this game. Like, honestly, this is something I could turn on while I'm like studying or something and just have it playing in the background, because it's not like high action. It's very, very relaxed, and I really, really like how the like tone of the music coincides with the visual tone of the game. It's really, really cool seeing that in this. Now, I want to get back to the fact that I said this wasn't on Xbox Game Pass, which I found incredibly odd, okay? As someone who plays Xbox a lot, most of my games come from Xbox Game Pass, and this being an Xbox exclusive console-wise, I was like, oh, shortly this is on Game Pass, and I booted up Game Pass the day it released, and I was like, where is it? And I looked, and it was only available on the Microsoft Store, which, you know, for me, it was kind of just like, oh, this is kind of odd just because everything is on Game Pass, but it didn't bug me at all. I definitely still obviously bought the game because I wanted to play it so badly, and it's definitely worth your money. It's only $20, and for, you know, getting 10 to 12 hours out of this game, even more if you go for the 100% and you try to get all the secrets and the secret ending and everything that this game entails, you could end up getting, you know, 16 to 20 hours out of this $20 experience, and I think that's phenomenal, especially considering that this game was made by a two-person team. This is a fantastic indie game with so much heart and soul poured into it that I just think it's definitely worth, even if you are somebody that pretty much only plays Game Pass stuff, drop the 20 bucks, support this game because it is phenomenal. And honestly, with the amount of money that I save, you know, using Xbox Game Pass and not buying as many games, I'm more than happy to hand over 20 bucks every now and again for games that decide to not drop on Game Pass. That is perfectly fine with me because I'm saving so much anyways that paying 20 bucks, especially for an experience as good as this one. So I definitely recommend forking over the extra cash for this game because it is just phenomenal. I love it to death, and it's definitely going to be something that we're talking about in December when the Game Awards roll around. It is that quality. So all in all, if you're looking for an awesome top-down action puzzle Zelda Dark Souls-esque game, if you like how every bit of that sounded, definitely pick this up. It is available on PC and Xbox, and it is 100% worth your time. It is a phenomenal little journey you're going on, and I am loving every second of it. I'm continuing to play. It's so freaking good. But that is all I have for you guys today. Thanks for watching. Like I said earlier, if you're not already subbed to the channel, make sure you stick around because me, Rico, and Toby talk games all the time over here. We talk, you know, we're going to be doing our podcast talking about Pokemon Unite and reviewing that game. We're going to be talking about a whole bunch of stuff. We talk games all the time. I know Rico's going back through the old PlayStation stuff and talking about all the old PlayStation games and revisiting them and saying if they're still worth playing now. So super, super fun stuff happening over here. So make sure you're subbed. Like I said, we do have the podcast. Check that out on podcast services as well as video format on YouTube if you prefer the video format. Check all that out as well. But like I said, that's it. That's all I got for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.